Sonic's first ever game is primarily about patience. Now, if you know anything about Sonic the Hedgehog in modern times, if you've picked up any Sonic game in the past 2 decades, this is a baffling statement. Sonic's the guy that goes fast. His recent games are designed around a go fast button. If you ain't boosting, you losing. Even before the boost mechanic, 3D Sonic games would usually have us quickly carving through stages, with an almost carefree attitude. Rushing forward is Sonic to many of us. However, this is not who Sonic the Hedgehog has always been. Sonic's first game is not gotta go fast, it's better not go fast. Because in Sonic's birthplace, carelessness begets capital punishment. Enemies, springs, and spikes litter the levels of Sonic the Hedgehog 1, death traps and pitfalls all aimed at punishing careless quickness. The game has us sitting on slow-moving platforms, pushing blocks into place. Precision platforming underwater? Are you serious? Slowly. And the later we get into the game, the more vicious it becomes when punishing recklessness. Only those with intimate knowledge of level layouts are allowed speed. Speed is not a human right that players are automatically bestowed. In fact, for all but the most masterful of players, speed in Sonic the Hedgehog's first game is bait. I want to go fast, I gotta go fast, but I better not. I need patience to look before I leap. And then, when my focus inevitably lapses and I start to blindly rush forward, I need patience to not whip my controller across the room when I pay the ultimate price. Or at least I would pay the ultimate price if not for the save states and rewind functionality that comes with the version of the game I'm playing, but you get the point. Under normal circumstances, Sonic the Hedgehog 1 tops off its brutality with the game over screen. How many players back in the 1990s were forced to sit through this, watching their progress, their Chaos Emeralds, their time vanish into the Sega splash screen, back to the very beginning. Truly the cherry on top of the cruelty cake. This viciousness is exactly why my favorite boss in the game is also my least favorite boss. The end of Labyrinth Zone features a race against the rising tide through an onslaught of obstacles requiring pinpoint precision. It's difficult to convey just how amazing nailing this segment feels. It is such a thrill to gracefully slip past the slew of spears and fireballs with unparalleled quickness, desperate to outrun the water that threatens to drown me. This feeling is what speedrunners spend hours upon hours chasing. This moment, freed briefly from the shackles of patience for this glorious peak in the middle of the game. Finally, Sonic goes fast. I go fast. A glimpse at the future identity of the blue blur. But success doesn't come for free. Death after death after death. The timing and the platforming had to be beaten into me. I had to learn all the risky jumps that the threat of submersion forced me to make. And then, after I had grown intimate with the trial, I learned that even here, this game couldn't truly abandon its one true love: slow, patient play. I learned that being overtaken by the water actually ain't that awful. Underwater platforming definitely isn't ideal, but there's just enough time to complete the climb without running out of breath. hilariously, even in what I'd argue is the singular crowning moment of speed in the entire game, a race. Patient play is still pretty potent. Regardless, this boss is a fun challenge, as long as lives aren't a factor, because I got a game over here, and I would have snapped if I had to play through the game back to that level, back to that boss, to get another attempt at learning it again every time. The challenge is fun, but the game over reset punishment is too harsh. It's a harsh punishment that was quite common back in 1991. A harsh punishment that was only common sense. Sonic 1 holds up well from a technical perspective. Sonic handles amazingly, the physics feel fantastic, the visuals are great, and the music? Perfection. But the game defies the modern understanding of both Sonic games and fair game design. A lot has changed in the past 30 years. Sonic's gameplay formula has evolved a few times by now, and the gaming landscape looks completely different. It makes me wonder which parts of our current understanding of Sonic and gaming in general will change in another 30 years, in 10. In 5. The game industry pretty recently went from loot boxes to battle passes. Shooters became battle royales. 2010, God of War, extravagant. 2018, God of War, somber. Sonic seemed to be sticking to the linear roller coaster ride formula, but now he might be an open world guy, with rebalanced gameplay that has revitalized hope among long-term fans of the franchise. Which game series will I evolve alongside? Which will I move on from? Different trends, different identities, different ideas. How will my common sense today make no sense tomorrow? Change can be great. Change can be cruel. But change cannot touch one thing that'll always be true. The Sonic franchise will never meet its doom, cause the speedy blue guy can survive Sonic 06 and Sonic Boom.